Welcome back to another episode of Some Old AV Guy. My name's Eric, as always. In this episode, I'm going to be speaking about how to get work as a audiovisual technician, whether that be an A1 or a V1 or an L1 or a GAV guy or graphics or any of those things. I've had quite a bit over the past few weeks of people asking me, hey, how do you get more work? And so I figured I would do an episode solely on marketing yourself and doing things that I do in order to get more work. So, starting off, let's use Denver as a example. So let's say I'm a tech living in Denver and I do breakout rooms or whatever, and I'm trying to get more work because my calendar isn't as full as I'd like it to be. So the first thing that I would do, I would first go to Google and do a Google search of Denver, Colorado audiovisual and see what comes up. And so, as you can see, there's Denver Sight and Sound, there's multimedia audiovisual, Colorado audiovisual, image audiovisuals, Mile High audiovisual, and there's quite a bit more there, right? And so I'm calling them, going to their websites, finding whatever contact information that I can get, and introducing myself as a tech in their local area. After I've done that, then I would take time, maybe in the next week or so, and go and visit those companies and introduce myself that way. As we've known from previous episodes, the one thing that really is important in getting more work is having a relationship. So if you are sending out a resume once, never calling them, never stopping in, then you're not going to be on the forefront of their mind. Just know you're not going to probably get any work from a pop-in or an email or sending your resume right off the bat. You need to build that rapport with that client. So after I've done these things, the next thing I would do is go back to my Google search, and instead of audiovisual, now I'm going to look up event labor and see what companies are there locally for event labor. So we've got Denver Event Staffing. LaborWorks is not really one that you would want because LaborWorks is more of like, somebody needs any kind of a job. Premium Event Staffing looks like one. That one's not one. The other thing you could type in is Denver, Colorado, audio, visual, event labor. Okay, so we've got a couple of these companies that are AV rental houses are also staffing companies. So again, you're going to reach out to these. Event Productions, AV Labor Source looks like one. Ford, I know actually personally is an AV company or production company. So now you're reaching out to those and trying to see what you can get under those items. Then the next thing that I would do is get on Facebook and look up labor companies under the group sections, the group tabs. So you're going to go sign into your Facebook if you've already got one, and go into the groups and search audiovisual, search event production, and join any group that has anything to do with the work you're looking for. And a lot of times when there is a labor company looking for more staffing, they tend to go there and check those groups because they know the guys are a part of those groups. Also, there are some people who try to get labor but aren't labor companies, and they're just trying to do it to build their repertoire with their clients. So just be safe when it comes to that. If they don't have insurance, liability insurance, or workers' comp that covers you, you're going to want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself on those ends. As far as billing is concerned, I would make sure that you either get it in writing or have a contract as far as what rate you are going to be working out. But those are things that you should know already. This episode really isn't for somebody who's just getting into the industry. We've already covered that on previous episodes. This is really more for someone who is established already in the industry and is just looking for more work. So then after we've already reached out to our local companies, the next thing I would do is I would go back to Google, and now I'm going to search the Denver, Colorado Convention Center. And the reason why I'm searching the Denver, Colorado Convention Center is because a lot of these convention centers will have a list of events that they have coming up. Right, so here's our calendar. We've got looks like Art in Tandem. They've got the Garden and Home Expo, but we're really looking for conventions. So it looks like we've got this 2025 SPSP convention. We've got a Mine Exchange, Colorado Speaker Series with Anderson Cooper. So that one actually looks like one that you could possibly work. But the ones we're looking for are not necessarily a trade expo, but a convention that needs audiovisual, right? So here's one, the 2025 National Planning Conference, right? So now we're going to click on that and go to that website. And so we've got our dates. We already know that if it's starting on the 29th and ending on the 1st, that load in is probably the 28th, if not the 27th. In addition to that, we know loadout is probably the 1st, if not the 2nd of April. So we're going to do a little more research here, and we're going to see if we can find out who the audiovisual company is that is putting this event on. Sponsors and exhibitors, that's a good way to find out sometimes, as you go to, as if you're going to be an exhibitor, and book your sponsor or exhibit option. Okay, so it looks like this one they've got locked down to somebody who is actually going. So you're maybe not necessarily able to see who provided the audiovisual for this. So let's go back. And now that we have a conference name, we've got NPC 25. It's in Denver, right? Let's find out where they were last year. NPC 24. Where is NPC 24? So it looks like it was in Minneapolis. And so then you're going to go back and try to see if you can find anything that connects the AV company to the conference, right? And, let's say we find out, we look at some pictures and see, okay, it looks like it was such and such AV company. So now I'm going to reach out to that AV company and say, hey, I understand that you have this event coming up at the Denver, Colorado Convention Center. It's coming up on March 29th through the 1st. I was hoping maybe I could get on that conference, or you go through your Facebook groups and find out by reaching out to guys on the groups and say, hey, this conference is coming up. Here are the dates. Does anybody know what labor company is providing labor or what AV company is providing labor? And you do that. The good thing about looking at specific calendars of venues is that it gives you an idea of what's coming locally. You can do your due diligence by doing some research about that conference. You can possibly find out who the production company is that's providing AV for that conference and reach out to them. And again, send your resume, let them know that you do this work. This is the gear that you've worked with. These are some of your previous clients. And it's a way to get an in, specifically if you're local, and we're using Denver as an example. If you're local and a travel company is coming in and they might possibly be short some guys. So once you find out what AV company that's providing such and such conference, you'll reach out to them. Hey, I understand that you are coming into town. I'm a local tech, and here's my resume. I would say probably 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20, you might get interest, and then 1 out of those 10 that you have interest, you might get a job on. So it's going to take some work. You've got to put in the time and effort to reach out to these companies. Then, once you've got somewhat of a portfolio of companies that are coming into town, you let them know that you travel. And hey, there's a possibility of such and such. Uh, uh, this was in Minneapolis last year, it's in Denver this year. Typically, conferences post their dates the day after the conference is over with for the following year so that their attendees come back. Write those dates down. Reach out to your client um, a month out. Hey, I was on such and such, I was on NPC last year and I was hoping to get on NPC this year. Is there a possibility I can get on that? And if you built a relationship with that client and you have continued to nurture that relationship, there's a good chance you'll be able to get on that show again. Now, sometimes clients lose clients. So the AV company that you are doing work for, let's say they lost that client and they're not going to be doing them next year. Well, if they lose them, you lose them. But there's always a possibility of getting on with the AV company that's going to do it this year. So those are some ways I would let someone know how to get some work. So I've shown some ways of getting work locally and building a relationship with those companies that are coming in and trying to get on future travel shows, going on to Facebook, being on any kind of a message board that has anything to do with labor. Those are ideas. I would pass those along. And good luck, guys. And hopefully, we'll see you on the next gig.